Hey, this is BA, and welcome to WD Gann's Planetary How To, where you're going to get kind of an overview of this field. Let's get started with that. WD Gann's trading record for 1933. From August 1 to December 31, total number of trades 135, of which 112 showed profits and 23 losses. Percentage of accuracy on total number of trades, 83%. Percentage of profits to losses, 89.9%. Total number of trades for the entire year of 1933, 479 trades, of which 422 were profits and 57 losses. Percentage of accuracy, 88.1%. Percentage of profits on capital used, 4,000 or 40 to 1. You can read his 34 and 35 record. Just pause it here. I'm going to continue on. In order to substantiate W.D. Gann's claims as to what he was able to do and under his method, we called upon Mr. William E. Guiley, an inspector of imports, 16 Beaver Street, New York. Mr. Guiley is well known in the downtown district. He himself has studied stock market movements for 25 years, during which time he has examined every piece of market literature that has been issued and procurable in Wall Street. It was he who encouraged Mr. Gann to study the scientific and mathematical possibilities of the subject. When asked what had been the most impressive of Mr. Gann's work and predictions, he replied as follows. It is very difficult for me to remember all the predictions and operations of W.D. Gann, which may be classed as phenomenal, but the following are few. In 1908, when the Union Pacific was at 168 1/8, he told me it would not touch 169 before it had a good break. He sold it short all the way down to 152 5/8, covering on the weak spots and putting it out again on the rallies, securing 23 points profit on an 18-point market wave. One of the most astonishing calculations made by Mr. Gann was during last summer, 1909, when he predicted that September wheat would sell at 120. This meant that it must touch that figure before the end of the month of September. At 12 o'clock Chicago time on September 30th, the last day, the option was selling below $1.08. And it looked as though his prediction would not be fulfilled. Mr. Gann said if it does not touch $1.20 by the close of the market, it will prove that there is something wrong with my whole method of calculation. I do not care where the price is now. It must go there. It is common history that September wheat surprised the whole country by selling at 120 and no higher on the very last hour of trading, closing at that figure. So much for what W.D. Gann has said and done as evidenced by himself and others. Now as to what demonstrations have taken place before our representative. Now this isn't Guiley. This is a magazine called the Ticker and Investment Digest had hired a guy, and to follow Gann around and to watch him. This is what he has to report. During the month of October 1909, in 25 market days, W.D. Gann made, in the presence of our representative, 286 transactions in various stocks on both the long and short side of the market. 264 of these transactions resulted in profits, 22 in losses. The capital which he operated was doubled 10 times, so that at the end of the month he had 1,000% of his original margin. We had seen Gann give in one day 16 successive orders in the same stock, 8 of which turned out to be either at the top or the bottom eighth of that particular swing. The above we can positively verify. How was he doing all this? That's the golden question. How? There is much speculation as to how Gann was able to achieve such great feats on a consistent basis. In reality, he simply isolated the cause of all market movements and was then able to predict consistently the effects. That's great, good for him, but what about us? So many have heard of Gann and have lusted after a system. Where did he put it? Where's it really at? He put his methods in the book, The Tunnel Through the Air. And by the way, of course, you can get that free on my site. Everything on my site's free, but the book's also there. From the foreword of his book, The Tunnel Through the Air. The Tunnel Through the Air is mysterious and contains a valuable secret clothed in a veiled language. Some will find it the first time they read it. Others will see it the second reading, but the greatest number will find the hidden secret when they read it the third time. W.D. Gann used primarily two systems, one which combines planets with certain numbers, and the other which uses only numbers, vibrating at certain angles. Encompassed within these two systems are all of Gann's cycles. This is very critical information that most don't know. W.D. Gann used cycles that repeat from the past, thus the saying, history repeats itself, or from a different source, Ecclesiastes 1:9. What has been will be again. What has been done will be done again. There is nothing new under the sun. The premise behind both the systems is that the vibrations are high, which are highs and lows, repeat from the past in a methodical, timed manner. Just like the planets, they operate under certain laws, you see. Gann, Daniel, meaning from the Bible, the Daniel in the Bible, was known to be a great prophet and astrologer. In his prophecies, he foretold war, pestilence, and famine to come upon the earth. And by a proper study of the repetition of cycles, we can determine the time when important events will take place in the future. That's critical. Gann. This makes it plain that everything works according to past cycles and that history repeats itself in the lives of men, nations, and the stock market. Gann. How do I forecast future cycles, you may ask? In order to forecast future cycles, the most important thing is to begin right. For if we have the right beginning, we will get the right ending. If we know the cause of the effect, then there can be no doubt about predicting the future event or effect. I have always looked for causes, and by the way, I came out with a video, the Luther Jensen and Gann connection. It's called the Gann-Jensen connection. And in that book, Jensen talks at great length about causes. And his book is Astro Cycles and Speculative Markets. It's a great book. It contains the foundation astro that's so critical to this field. And when I determine a cause, I can always be sure of the effect or future event which I predict. It is not my aim to explain the cause of cycles. The general public is not ready for it and probably would not understand or believe it if I explained it. So Gann's time cycles have lengths of repeat. In order to forecast, it is mandatory to have the correct length of repeat. Like all you need is the start date and to know which cycle is going to repeat. If we have a massive low on, say, September 21 of 2001 in the stock market and knew the cycle length would be 13.9 years, we would be able to predict a low in August of 2015. Then the question becomes, where do we discover these lengths? It's the airship and the tunnel book. You must find what they are and how long they are. But what about the other kind of cycles, the ones that use just numbers? What about those? Study closely the inventions that Robert and Walter discover in the book. That's critical. Always keep in mind that Robert had great love for Marie. The whole book is about financial markets, okay? It's about using planets and numbers in financial markets. The whole book is. So all these inventions are going to show you how to do that, okay? That's what they're in there for. And the whole romance with Marie ties in with financial markets, okay? It's not just a great love story. Venus and Jupiter equals love. It's not like that. Okay, it's nothing about that. The whole book is about financial markets and mundane cycles, okay? If you have gained insight from my videos, subscribe so you can get the latest on my free market calls, forecast, commentary, and teachings. Knowledge is priceless. And hey, this is BA reminding you, you can succeed. Bye-bye.